So in asana there is breath, in pranayama there is breath, in the way that we live there is breath.
All the time breathing and yet so unaware of it.
24/7 we breathe, but we don't understand that that is our friend.
Just with one breath, I can reduce the pain, I can calm the mind, just with one breath. The breathing is a very important component of therapy. So when the person is breathing, there's better circulation happening, there's a better balance of the nervous system, autonomic balance is achieved. The person can relax better. And the most important thing is what happens to the mind. You know, the mind suddenly begins to recognize that I can do something for myself. You know, I don't have to pop a pill every time there's a pain. I can do some breathing and reduce the pain. And that is very, very empowering, because simple practices, simple breathing, suddenly when the person begins to see that very important shifts are happening, then they can take to yoga.
Breath is so important, and the way it impacts the person. So it's not just the body. There is asana, there is pranayama, there are many tools of yoga, and all the tools, what connects them is breath. So in asana there is breath, in pranayama there is breath, in the way that we live there is breath. So what I found was, when I employ breath with my students or on myself or anyone that I am working with, I found that it deeply impacts the state of mind. It impacts the way your body changes, your physiological functioning, any coping mechanisms of what you have.
As a practitioner, as a teacher, as a therapist, I have to find a way to quieten the mind and put it out of the way. The mind is the problem, the mind is also the tool, and all that we are doing is to help the person to reach a better state of mind. So it's all about the mind, and we are using the body, we are using the breath in a large way, because the breath can impact the body and the mind at the same time. Just with one breath, I can reduce the pain, I can calm the mind, just with one breath, with a long exhalation. And when that can happen, imagine at how many levels you can impact the system just with the breath.
Primarily with the MS patient, what I said is, if you're not able to do the practice also, okay, but when that kind of a stress level comes, sit down calmly, just observe the breath, just be with the breath, and slowly what he observed is, he was able to calm down much better than how he was. And one of the symptom or the signs of the MS is that they get that hot flashes. So he was saying that because of those condition and the deadlines I'm having, he had to work for 11:30, 12 in the night as well. So I was telling him, you can sit, if you have though, just few minutes of your time, just calm, just allow your breath to settle and connect with your breath. So first, he used to keep a timer for 2 to 3 minutes, and then he found that it vanished. That's what he said, it's a magic.
I think I was going through that emptiness syndrome, what is it called? I came across this teacher who actually got me connected to my body and was making me see the way I was thinking. I was so unaware of how I would think, how I would do. Connecting to my breath, connecting my breath, I think I experienced healing there in just first few classes only, and I was thinking it's such a beautiful thing to happen, and all the time breathing and yet so unaware of it.
So many of my students who have simple conditions, serious conditions, and how they cope with them, I start working with the breath first. Once they understand the impact of breath on their body, on their state of mind, how they understand their own, the relationship of how their state of mind is and how they are coping, they somehow, become empowered to heal themselves.
Anybody who can breathe can do yoga, that's what our teacher said. So it does not matter if you are an 8-year-old or you are a 70-year-old or 80-year-old, any stage of life, any condition, any problem, if you can practice yoga, you can heal yourself.